I've come to West Sussex to see a car that's in that garage there, and it's not been in that garage all of its life. It's moved from a bereavement garage, but it's been in the same family for many, many years. And it's a car that I think is quite close to my heart, because when I was 17, so many of my friends had these. A Vauxhall hot hatch that had so much bang for its buck, was really difficult to blow up. And they were everywhere. And now you hardly ever see them. And you definitely don't see them unmodified. The weather here it looks great, it looks warm. It's actually really moody and it's quite cold, so we'll see what happens there. But the hope is that we will get this thing out and we will look at what could be a real time capsule of a Vauxhall hot hatch. So this is a Barn Find episode of the Late Break Show, and I'm Jonny Smith. I've got to say, Joe, I'm really excited about this because I haven't seen one for ages.
Right.
And this formed a very important part of my growing up. 17, loads of my friends had these. These were, for me, like, the bang for your buck was unbeatable.
Yeah.
But then they've all disappeared. And that's why, I mean, I haven't seen one in so long, especially one that hasn't been modified. So before we open up the door, tell me, how did you come to get the car? Because you didn't own the car.
No, so it's my wife's family. We sort of inherited it. Her uncle passed away a few years ago. It was his car. And then her auntie then passed away 3 or 4 years ago. And it was left in the garage at their house. And the son was having to sell the house and get rid of everything. So we said we'd have it,
right.
Which was quite good. We paid him a little bit of money for it. And then he delivered it down to us.
So where did it come from?
Came from southeast London.
Okay.
But yeah, so he got it out of his garage. It'd been sat in the garage for, I think, something like 10, 15 years.
Right.
According to him. So
your wife's auntie and uncle had it.
Yep.
You say your uncle, her uncle died a long time ago.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I've never known him, and we've been together 10, 12 years now. So
right.
Yeah, he's been dead that whole time, at least.
Right. But seemingly really looked after the car.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because I've only seen 1-2 photos of it.
Yeah. I
think. Okay. Well, let's open the door and let's have a look.
All right.
So it's not buried under a load of stuff, which does make my life a little bit easier. I'm going to do this now. I have to. Got to show you. Look. The Mark II Astra GTE. Be still my beating 80s heart. This is what I remember. The NACA duct bonnet and the drilled grille here. Just, it's so, and those alloys, yeah. Those alloys, goodness. Alloys that look like hubcaps, I remember that. So there's a particular design skill to achieve. They look like cheap hubcaps, but no, they're alloys. It's amazing to find one that hasn't actually been modified, you know, Joe.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to do a barn find on it, because although it hasn't, I know it's not been sat for 30 years, it has been sat, you think that was...
Yeah, I think that's the last time it was on the road.
That was on 2007 was the last taxed year of it. Oh my gosh, it looks absolutely mint inside. Oh. Penfolds of Lewisham SE13.
Yeah.
Wow. Within minutes you can just tell it's been garaged most of its life, because the condition of the plastics and the rubbers, these were notoriously bad for UV damaged. The bumpers would go horribly grey, brittle. This is great. This is great. So if you're watching this and this car doesn't mean much to you, you've got to understand, back in the 80s, it was definitely Vauxhall. You were either a Vauxhall person or a Ford person, and they were almost arch rivals. And I personally was in the Vauxhall camp, and most of my mates were. The main reason being, the bang for your buck was massive, and the reliability, the robustness of these engines was amazing. Now this is an 8-valve GTE 2 litre. They started as a 1.8. and they went to 2 litre, and then you could get a 2 litre 16 valve as well. And then they introduced the convertible as well, but that was never a 16 valve. I'll do a quick history lesson on GTEs just because I'm interested in them. The short-lived Mark I Astra GTE was always a 1.8 litre, which is why when the more aerodynamic Mark II GTE launched in August 1984 on a B-Reg, it too had a 115 horsepower 1.8 injected engine. It was superseded in spring of '87 with the 2 litre SEH 8-valve unit, which would continue production until 1991. The infamous red top double overhead cam 16-valve 2 litre 20XE, probably Vauxhall's best 4-cylinder engine of all time, launched in May 1988 with 156 horsepower. The 8-valve like this one was identified by having a single oval tailpipe as opposed to the 16-valve twin square pipes. The 2 litre 8-valve sprinted to 60 in 8 seconds and had about 123 horsepower with 127 pounds-feet of torque. But above all, the engines were so damn strong. These things could withstand all manner of punishment. The gearboxes, less so. All Mark II Astra GTEs boasted that gloriously 80s LCD digital dash unit as well. So back here, this black panel was really popular in the hot hatch days. Mark I GTIs had blacking on the back hatch here. The GTE Mark II with the spoiler. But this has still got the dealer stickers. Penfolds of Lewisham.
Yep.
SE13. And it says here, I'm smitten with my Vauxhall, because I'm sure in the 80s there was an ad campaign and the strapline for Vauxhalls was once driven, forever smitten. It was actually, it's when car ads were good.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago now.
Vauxhall Astra SXs, once driven, forever smitten.
I mean, look, even that. I mean, even the tailgate is mint. Normally they rot along the leading edge. You can see all the pressings.
Yeah.
My friend Simon from college, who's still got his GTE, he's on speed dial today. He's been messaging me eagerly because I told him that I was doing a barnfind Astra GTE, and he's like, "What has it got? This? Has it got that?" And sure enough, he said, "What's the parcel shelf like?" I said, "It's immaculate. Look at this parcel shelf." These were, I mean, it is cardboard. It's carpeted cardboard. These were brittle, they got sun damaged, they bowed, and they got cut for 6x9 speakers. Your wife's late uncle has left you with some Pioneer speakers that can fit behind those, because those will be the Vauxhall speakers, almost certainly.
Yeah.
And he has put a 10 CD changer. There's a Vauxhall. It's an actual Vauxhall bag. An original Vauxhall bag with some bits in. We'll see what accessories he's got in there. We'll get it outside and into the light, because I want to have a look at the spare wheel well.
Yeah.
See if we've got a spare wheel and stuff. In here is absolutely bloody mint. So there was 2 types of fabric from memory. These were the laser fabric, straight lines, grey and red. Recaro seats. And then the other type with a rainbow, which I think were diagonal.
Right.
Now these are notoriously bad. All the interior was notoriously bad for wear. Look at the lack. There's a tiny bit there, but I mean, look at that bolster there. That's mint. And 3 offcuts of carpet to protect the driver's footwell. Wow, can't wait to get this out. Was all this hi-fi stuff in the car?
It was, yeah.
So look, that's specific to Vauxhall and Opel, Pioneer. He was going to upgrade the speakers with Pioneers, and there's a workshop manual here. Vauxhall Astra Belmont, October '84.
Huh.
It's amazing to see one that just hasn't been messed around with. I mean, bloody hell, look at the back seat. Wow. So you've never driven this?
No, never driven.
Have you ever heard it run?
No.
Oh
never
my
heard
gosh. My gosh.
It run. Yeah.
You have got a bit of a time capsule car, I think. When I saw the photos, I suspected it, and everywhere I look, where the fit and finish of the panels, and yeah, it's definitely been kept out of the elements. There's no way it would have survived this well. There's no way. Oh, tapes. He has got, there's tapes in it still.
Really?
Yeah. What's that? What's that one? Hang on, what's this? Now that's what I call music, volume 10 from 1987. Hang on, what year is this car? Is it 88, this car?
88, yeah.
It's almost the same era. Now that's what I call music 10.
Bloody hell.
There's a couple of, he's obviously done his own recordings.
Yeah.
Pet Shop Boys. Yeah. Brilliant. So your wife said that her uncle died quite young.
Yeah.
And this was his dream car.
Apparently so, yeah.
He'd really worked hard to find one and buy one.
Yeah.
When it was fairly new. It's sad that he seemingly didn't use it much.
No.
Because he had a works van, like a lot of tradesmen. He spent more time in the van. This was his sort of like special weekend car. I really hope we can get this car running today, because I want to see the digital dash. It was one of the most popular, like, eye-catching parts of the GTE Mark II. This mad digital rev counter and huge numbers for the speedo.
It'd be great to see.
So again, these headliners, they don't age well normally. This is perfect. The sun blind for the tilt and slide. That's perfect. Again, if it had been outside, normally the mechanism seizes. I mean, look at the condition of the rubbers.
Yeah, it's brand new.
The rubber seals normally just shrivel and die. They normally look like licorice all sorts. And there's not even any rust around. There's not even any rust around the edge.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Joe, this is nice. It's exciting.
Yeah, very lucky.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
I have a distinct memory of my friend's dad, Barry, bought a brand new Astra GTE Mark II convertible when we were kids. And when it was Luke's birthday, my friend Luke from school, the birthday party was, we're all going to go to the cinema to watch Ghostbusters 2. And we went in Barry's GTE, in white, Barry's GTE convertible.
Wicked.
And I sat in the middle at the back, and I distinctly remember seeing the digital speedo and it just blowing my little mind. It blew my small mind. So I've always had a real thing for these. Let's pump the tyres up, see if the brakes are seized, and then we can push it out because the weather's a little bit happier now. We'll push it out, we'll have a close look out there, and we'll look in the engine bay.
All right, wicked.
The public have spoken, and they have said, Johnny, you need to get yourself a compressor and stop it with the foot pump. So I've listened to the public, and we now have one of these. This is a 20-volt cordless works inflator, does the job really quickly. In fact, if you've watched my video where I took the Kia Picanto on the Land's End trial, this thing saved our skin. Interchangeable packs with all the other power tools they do. We didn't even use more than one pack for the whole Land's End trial. That was pretty impressive. We took 4 with us. Let's do this. I don't know if this, I don't think this coach line is original on the car, but that's just obviously a sticker. Dealers used to do stuff like that to jazz it up. And this is about the only piece of damage I can see on the car. It's obviously scraped on this bumper corner and it's caught it and cracked it, but you can probably get rid of that with some plastic weld. It's got 9 PSI in it. So I've noticed it's got Uniroyal Rally tyres on the rear, good rain tyre. On the front it's got a manufacturer tyre I'm not familiar with called Fate, Fate O's. Fate is not a tyre manufacturer name that I would like to buy. Oh, you're going to put some Fates on your car? Yeah. Right, now we've got it outside in the, I was going to say sun, but the weather's all over the place. I want to have a look under the bonnet to see, because we don't really know when it was last driven,
No.
do we?
No.
We could assume that it was in 2007, but what we do know is it was stored really well, because that's clear. It's windy as hell out here. If the weather gets worse, we'll push the car back in, but hopefully we can work on it out here. So 8 valve, 2 litre, I think it's about 130 horsepower. The 16 valve was like the daddy, the red top. But these engines were always a great engine. I haven't looked at one for a long time, so it's going to be a bit of a... I've just noticed the alarm, which troubles me somewhat. Let's hope that's not rigged up. But overall, what I'm going to do is I'll do the usual thing. I'll take the plugs out. I'm going to check the cam belt on this, and then the fluids. And then I'll remove the fuel line so that we can see if we can get dash lights on when we put a battery on, and see if the fuel pump jerks into life, and we'll purge the fuel out and probably run it on the can of hope. But I'm really hoping we can hear it. So you've never heard it?
Never heard it, no.
You've never heard it, and your wife probably hasn't heard it either.
She hasn't either.
Look, it's still got the General Motors battery on the bloody thing. So I've noticed how solid it is, the chassis and everything down there. Although it's dirty, these strut tops and everything are so good. Even the battery tray looks excellent. And down there, where they normally start to rot around the sort of wiper panel, there's mouse droppings in this bit here, and you can see that a mouse has gnawed through and around the washer bottle. I think they want to drink the screen wash, because I think it's quite a sweet smelling thing. So I'm not so bothered about that. I've noticed these 4 wires here have been gnawed by mice, but I think that's windscreen washer motor, and the 2 wires which are for the, I guess the temperature sensor for the expansion tank. So I'm not too bothered about that, as long as it's nothing to do with that alarm. I actually don't know what mileage this car is.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 70,000, I think, something like that.
Is it?
Yeah,
well, when I get the dash to fire up, but which I don't want to do until we've disconnected the fuel. So I think we'll disconnect that now. Oil up the linkage for the throttle and take those plugs out. Yeah, let's do that. Look at the condition of this. This is the air filter, this box.
You get it dirty, dropping it.
It looks mint. Bloody hell.
That's like, you get out of the box and stuff.
No, I put that in last night.
If you told me you just put that in, I mean, that's ludicrous. So before I do any kind of turning over of the engine, one thing I wanted to check was the condition of the cam belt. It's rubber. That can obviously get a bit crusty. And I've just pulled the clips off to have a look, and that looks really good. It's not cracked at all. In fact, I think it's had a new one. I can see the lettering on it that's bright white. Wow. Joe, by his own admission, is not the most mechanical man in the world, but his friend, Gareth, who lives around the corner, is good with his hands. And has owned plenty of old shitters. So I thought we'll get Gareth, and also he's really excited about the GTE, the same as me. It's quite inaccessible on this, but we just got the fuel inlet and outlet off, and I'm just making sure it doesn't all go all over the drive. That we're not. That's the idea. Something. I mean, even like a little. Yeah, like a little.
Have you got a can?
You know what? Actually, hang on. I've got my. I've just done a bottle of smoothie.
Yeah.
Just that little bottle of smoothie.
There's a Fanta can. You know what's surprising is how flexible the fuel lines still are.
Yeah.
They're not like dry rotted, like
no.
the ethanol's not got to it.
Oh, what that one's dated 1999. It said General Motors 1999. So whether it's had, you're right.
Yeah, it's done.
It's kind of done now. Okay. Well, that's good. It's very difficult. Why did General Motors put it down there?
Fuel out the back.
Did they not think in about 40 years someone will want to film a barn find of this bloody thing? Then you can't show the viewers what you're
Do
doing.
it a little bit more, sorry. I thought that was a bit my fault. There's a swollen nipple on the...
Well, is there though? Yeah.
Yeah, on that. Yep. Yes, you got it.
That's bloody stiff though.
Yeah.
Hang on, a bit more.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, they are quite pliable, aren't they?
They're really good.
They are.
They're really good.
Again, it's because it's been in the dark.
The light's flashing. There you go.
Oh, they're on. Oh, lights are on.
Door does. Buzz.
Yeah, 71,000 miles, almost exactly. Quick update. We've managed to get the battery on. It's a massive battery, as you've probably seen from previous barn finds. Doesn't quite fit. So we've clamped it on there. What we're going to do now is I'll get Joe to just turn the ignition key on, like third click or whatever it is, to see if we get a fuel pump priming up. But we've removed the fuel line so that it doesn't throw old fuel into the engine. So we'll do that, and then before we go for a turnover, I'll take 1 or 2 plugs out, or if they're easy, all 4, and then we'll see if we've got a spark, and we'll just check that the plugs are clean. So make sure it's out of gear, just in case the starter catches. So we don't want the starter on, we just want the
You know the last position for the ignition?
before the starter goes. Oh, that's wipers. Someone's put all of everything on, haven't they? But the wipers work. That's such a horrible noise, the dry wiper scrape. And so that's dash lights are on? Oh, well, that's good. Is the digital dash working? You've never seen the dash? He owns a digital dash 80s car and he's never seen the dash working. Oh, well, you're going to have a whale of a time when we get it struck up, if we get it struck up. So we're not getting fuel coming through here. You could go to turn.
You're not going to damage it if there's no spark.
No.
So the worst that happens is it doesn't fire fuel up.
Okay. If it's out of gear, go
Put
for
the
a
clutch
little.
down though. Turns out easier.
Yeah. Do it for like 2 or 3 seconds, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Didn't sound like it was
Killing
oh yeah,
itself.
there we go. Wow. Okay, so just don't touch anything for a second. So that's filled that bottle up straight away.
Perfect.
Now obviously it was a smoothie, so I can't that I had for lunch. So I can't quite tell whether the fuel is I might swill that out and then we could see what the condition of. Yes, that's a great point. There's a tiny bucket just behind my head, isn't there? Just somewhere back there. That's right. It's like a sick bucket, isn't it? Amazingly, the fuel pump works.
Yeah.
It's delivered loads of fuel in total silence, not broken, which usually they are. Engine turns over freely.
It sounds really nice.
Sounds really nice, and we saw the air box. The air filter's incredibly new. The wind is irritating as it always is, and we're just going to take a plug or 2 out, and just looking at the outside of the plug there, I think just like the air filter, it's like it was just serviced before
crazy.
it got put away. It's spooky, really.
It's like fresh out the box. That is.
So now we're going to try and work out, we'll see how much fuel is in it. I'll double check what the condition is. I might just dilute what's in there with a load of new E5
Yeah.
and use the original fuel system instead of my can of hope. But we'll see. I just want to check the condition of them and see if we've got a spark, of course.
Yeah. Or on the block itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Spark.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Man, I know this is going to be silky smooth.
It's going to be.
I can just tell.
It's going to purr, isn't it? It's
can
going
just
to tick
tell.
over at like 800 revs, straight off the button.
Right, let's get these fuel lines on and then we'll put some fresh in its mouth and we'll see what happens.
So these petrol pipes, they are like always go hard as anything.
They
fuel.
do, yeah.
This has just gone straight on, which is like really nice.
It's really, really good. Yeah, that one is, unless it,
Look at that, look, done.
they
Go
are
back
really,
on.
really good. The sort of detailer in me is looking at this engine bay thinking, if you had this dry ice blasted, it would come up so nicely. These strut tops all around here, the block, it would just look mint. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a video about dry ice blasting. Lots of people are doing it on chassis and stuff. I'll put the link for that now above my head. It will be there, you just have to look for it. I'm excited. I can tell you are.
Yeah. So Joe told me about this about a year ago, was it?
Was it that long ago?
Yeah. We went out for a meal and everyone was talking about what they got and he said, I've got an old car. And then he said, oh, it's an Astra. And you didn't even know what model it was, did you?
Yeah, no, I don't think I did. No.
And then we started talking and then I came round his house and he showed me and yeah. It's...
And you went, no. Are you winning?
Yeah, I'm just needs flat blade and I can tighten it up.
Do you need the normal length or the short one?
Normal one off. I'll tell you what, let's go push.
Go stubby or go home, said nobody. This is what happens when you don't have the correct funnel. You use a milk carton that you saw off. It's like junk modelling, basically the same. We are going to go for the fire up. Sophia's doing the honours. You'll see the digital dash for the first time.
Right, ready?
Go for it.
I think you should go for it, yeah.
With a bit more rev, yeah.
Is that it? Idle?
That's it. Done. Yeah? That's it. Go on, rev it up a bit.
Wow. Look at the dash. You're looking at the dash, aren't you?
I am.
She's looking at the dash. Really nice.
That is so quiet.
The clicking's coming from back here. It's idling so nicely. So nicely. Listen to that. Sounds really good. The oval tailpipe.
This is proper daddy cool car.
It's a very daddy cool car. And Gareth said as we were filling up with petrol, the condition around the fuel filler neck, there's like not even a bubble of rust.
That's so good.
Not even a bubble. So under here, I'm just curious, I've got to know what the condition is of the spare wheel or if it exists, because that tells the truth. Oh yeah, look.
Cool.
So it's been used, it's got a bit of brake dust on it, but it's a white alloy with Uni Royal Rally tyre on it.
Yeah.
Toolkit's all there.
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
But this here, I'm getting really excited about an old plastic bag, but look, it is a Vauxhall accessory bag. But I want to know what's in it. What is the uncle, what did he have? What did he buy? Oh yes, mud flaps. Unused Vauxhall mud flaps. Yes, please. Yes, yes, please. And this is just amazing. You look along the leading edge of the boot, right up to the drain hole there. There's not even a speck of rust. So Sophia,
Yeah.
this was your uncle's car
It
and
was.
auntie's.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I didn't really know my uncle very well. He unfortunately passed away suddenly from a heart attack.
Right.
So my auntie then kept it stored away in their garage for many, many years. It was his dream car, and he worked as a handyman in Brixton, and he saved up to eventually purchase it. And he didn't drive it that much.
Really?
He just loved it so much, so he kept it clean and tidy and just kept it stored away, and occasionally took it out, but not very often. Their dream, well, they'd planned for many years to move to France, and unfortunately he passed away, so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I assume he would have most certainly taken this with him.
So what are you? I mean, so you guys you've kind of half inherited it, kind of bought it, so it's still in the same family-ish.
Yeah.
Are you going to get it on the road? Are you and Joe going to?
Yeah, that's the plan. with a bit of help.
Yeah, because I honestly, having looked at it, it will not take much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really won't take, because it doesn't need restoring.
No. And even just sitting in it just now and turning the engine on, it's kind of made me way more excited about it than I thought I would be. So.
Well, I didn't realise that you or Joe hadn't ever heard it running or
No.
been driven in it.
No, it got delivered to us and that was it. We just kept it in the garage for quite some time now.
Wow.
Yeah. So
No, I'm just pleased that you've let me come along and have a tinker, really. And I could tell Gareth is very excited about it.
Yes, yeah.
And as a car guy, like you said, the originality is clear here. It's cool.
Well, thanks. Thanks for
That's
getting
all right.
it.
That's all right. It's an
Getting it up
absolute
and running.
pleasure. It's a real pleasure. This has been really good fun. It's been really nostalgic. Just sitting in one of these again. I feel 17. And what I love is the fact that Sophia and Joe and the family, I can tell, because they've never heard this car start up. They've never seen it run. I think they were really taken by it. So what was a car that was, you know, the uncle and aunt's like dream vehicle is going to stay in the family, and it is going to be on the road this summer, and it will get used, which will be great. So if you've got a car that you think is of interest for me to come and look at, it could be in a garage, in a real barn, on a drive, in a hedge, let me know. In the description there's an email address. You can email us details of the car, photos, etc. I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, I'm going to pop this back in the garage for now. So smooth.